The thing is, it's really easy to lose that initial body fat. You'll start seeing it in your face, your jaw, your cheeks, your arms. You start seeing some vascularity. The tough part is losing that stubborn body fat, right? The body fat located around the belly. This is the last place you're going to lose body fat, the stomach, the belly. In this game, especially doing this on a natural basis, we're not taking any fancy compounds or peptides or TRT or anything like that. I have nothing against it, but I believe like, if you do your homework, you should be able to get some pretty good results. But I'm going to tell you how much cardio I like to do to preserve the muscle and burn fat at the same time. So here's what I recommend. So the other day I had a discussion with a few guys at my local gym, and we were talking about fat loss and how once you hit the age of 40, it becomes increasingly difficult to get rid of stubborn body fat. I want to make sure I'm recording there. Over the years, I've found that there are a few ways of losing body fat, specifically belly fat. This is actually one of the things we were talking about, losing that stubborn belly fat that accumulates around the midriff. And I do these videos because I know there are many guys out there and women who are currently going through their fitness journey. And so hopefully I can offer some motivation and offer some tips, right? Because there's a lot of information online, and sometimes some of these tips that you get from people may be accurate, may not be accurate, but nonetheless, here are a few things that I can offer in terms of advice. When it comes to losing body fat, one of the things I like to do is take my time with it. Generally speaking, throughout the year, I try not to gain too much body fat. I may go up anywhere between 5 to 7 pounds. On occasion, maybe 10 pounds off of what I believe is my comfortable weight. So I know a lot of guys out there are concerned with statistics. So just as a reference, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm about 215 pounds right now. This is the heaviest I get. I've been 230 in the past. It was way too much. Now I'm at 215. I don't consider myself to be lean. I think I'm okay, but this is not the sort of comfortable spot. I think my ideal weight when I'm comfortable, when I'm more agile, where I'm not out of breath as I am now, is 205. 206, maybe 207. That's the sweet spot for me. I think I look bigger, fuller, and I'm a whole lot more aesthetic, and I'm also very comfortable at that range. So I'm about 10 pounds off of my ideal range. So I believe there are two approaches, and I've done both approaches. One approach has you doing a lot of cardio, right? You're doing it maybe 4, 5, 6 days a week, anywhere between 45 minutes to 60 minutes. And then the other side, well, it's more dependent on macro manipulation, basically manipulating your carbohydrate intake. I've done both, and I've had great results with both. In the end, I much rather manipulate the macros to get to my target weight, which is about 10 pounds lighter than what I currently have right now. I think that way you basically keep a lot of that muscle on you, because let's be frank, during the bulking phase, my bulking phase probably lasted about 5 months now. And so you work hard for it, and you don't want to lose that muscle. So when you decide to get on a cut, summer's right around the corner. In fact, summer is here. I like to take my time. Just to lose 7, 8, 9 pounds, it might take me maybe 7, 8 weeks, maybe even 2 months. I'm in no hurry to lose what I've gained in terms of muscle mass. So that's always the thing I like to tell people, especially the guys who put on significant size during their off season or during their bulk. I know we're not competing, but I still use the term off season, because why would you jump on a treadmill and start running and start burning your hard-earned muscle? This is what I see with a lot of guys who go to the gym, and I can tell they're on a cut because all they do is cardio, cardio, cardio. They do minimal weights. And in the end, they end up looking a little, I don't know what the word is, flaccid, weak. The muscle has no tonus. They don't have that strong look. And I think it's because they overdid it on the cardio. I have nothing against cardio. In fact, I like to do both, but I'm going to tell you how much cardio I like to do to preserve the muscle and burn fat at the same time. So here's what I recommend. If you do want to get on a sort of cut, try to do cardio about 3 times a week. So basically when it comes to cardio, I'm doing about 20 to 25 minutes per week, maybe 3 times a week. You don't have to go overboard with the cardio. I think the heavy lifting will will be done with the diet, which I'll get into momentarily. But for now, the cardio is 20 to 25 minutes per week at an incline of 5, right? And a speed of 5 and 5, really easy to remember. At that intensity, I can have a conversation with someone next to me on the treadmill, right? I'm not running, I'm not out of breath, I feel comfortable, and I can maintain a steady pace for 20 to 25 minutes. I don't really believe in fasted cardio, meaning that waking up in the mornings, going straight to the gym without food in the stomach. I think that's a no-no. I think you need some nutrients in your body to fuel those workouts. So I'll typically go into the gym, start with a 10-minute warm-up, do my workout, and then after my workout, maybe I'll do some cardio. There are some occasions where I'll keep a day off for cardio. In other words, I won't lift any weights, but I'll go to the gym, I'll do my 20 to 25 minutes, and then I'll do some stretching. I preach a lot about mobility and keeping our joints healthy, and I'll actually do some videos about this in the future. So those are my rest days. Nothing too intensive. I think on a scale from 1 to 10 in terms of intensity, those days are probably 3 out of 10. Really low key, 20 to 25 minutes of cardio, followed by some stretching, static stretching, that is. All right, so let's get into nutrition. I think nutrition is one of the most important components when it comes to leaning out. In fact, I lean heavily and I double down on nutrition. I'd rather do zero cardio and rely exclusively on nutrition. I think you'll get some great results just by doing that. Forget the cardio altogether. I'd rather see someone dedicate 100% effort and energy to eating healthy. They're going to see some great results. The thing is, it's really easy to lose that initial body fat. You start seeing it in your face, your jaw, your cheeks, your arms. You start seeing some vascularity. The tough part is losing that stubborn body fat, right? The body fat located around the belly. This is the last place you're going to lose body fat, the stomach, the belly. And it takes time. It's about consistency. I know you're probably tired of hearing this word from me, but in this game, especially doing this on a natural basis, we're not taking any fancy compounds or peptides or TRT or anything like that. I have nothing against it, but I believe that, if you do your homework, you should be able to get some pretty good results. I double down on nutrition and I double down on consistency. Over time, you'll notice that you'll start losing fat on your face, your jaw, your cheeks, all those noticeable places, where your colleague says, hey, you've been losing weight. They can tell by the face. But the belly is always a stubborn thing to lose. It's always really challenging, and that takes time. So I do these videos to encourage people on their fitness journey, just to let them know they are on the right path and they need to just be consistent and keep going. Because eventually you'll look down, you'll notice that your intercostals are coming up. You'll notice that your obliques and your abs, are starting to really pop through. As for nutrition, I eat a lot. In fact, when I'm on a cut, I eat a lot of food, more than you'd be surprised, more than you'd think. If I have time, I'm going to leave you with screenshots as to what I eat in a typical day. I'm going to leave this right here so it gives you a reference as to how many calories I'm eating. I don't count calories. I don't really believe in that. I don't have time for it. I just use the visual cues. I try to keep my meals balanced, so I have a combination of fiber, vegetables, and then I have my clean carbs. I'll have some rice, some vegetables, and I'll also have some lean protein sources, anything like salmon, chicken. I started boiling chicken recently. I usually have it in the oven, but now I started boiling it. That's a whole nother level of leanness. If you really want to get lean, start boiling your chicken. And of course, beef. Those are my staples. As for my fats, I'll get it from avocado, I'll get it from olive oil, I'll get it from peanut butter. I rarely do the cheat meals. If I do, I'll do it maybe once every 2 weeks, and I treat myself to a burger. Smash burgers in particular. I noticed that the smash burgers somehow taste better, they're leaner, they don't have as much fat, and so I'll do that. When it comes to supplements, I'll rely on protein. I'll do maybe 2 protein shakes a day. On the days where I feel a little hungry and I feel like I can use a caloric bump, I'll have a 3rd shake for the day, all while consuming 4 or 5 meals. The meals, that's what's going to get you lean. That's what's going to give you that fullness so that as you come down, as your body fat goes down, you maintain that muscle. I hate seeing guys dedicate so much time to building out their physiques, and then when it comes to a cut, they lose like 80% of what they've gained because they rely too much on cardio. Or they just don't diet properly. Poor eating, they eat maybe 2 or 3 meals thinking that, oh, if I skip a meal, I'm going to lose body fat. It's like that's not entirely true because you're going to slow down your metabolism. The name of the game here is being consistent with the meals and also with the training. That's when you're going to see a slight decline in your body fat while maintaining that fullness. And finally, I wanted to offer some advice out there for the guys who are trying to streamline their waist, because this is also in line with losing body fat, right? I don't really believe in spot reduction, but something that I've noticed has helped me maintain a tight waistline is doing ab work throughout the year, even during a bulk. One of my favorite exercises for this is hanging leg raises. Now, you can do this on a Roman chair style leg raises, but I like to do the hanging leg raises. I just find it targets the lower abs a whole lot better, and it does wonders for keeping your waistline really trim. Anyways, I don't want the video to be too long. If you found this useful, leave a comment down below. If you are on your fitness journey, you're in your 40s and 50s. I happen to be in my 50s. And, I love helping the older guys, the older women reach their peak physique irregardless of age. And also the young guys, the guys in the 20s and 30s. I know you guys follow me. I check my analytics. Anyways, like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Most men over 40 and 50 are making these 3 arm training mistakes. I explain all of them in my free Big Arm Blueprint. Just click the link in the description and start building the arms you've always wanted. Or visit jawlinefitness.com/bigarm.